Stop playing blue-white control. We know it's amazing, but you have to be really smart to play it successfully. And I want to resolve my Atraxa.
Today we are headed to the final RCQ, the final regional qualifier for the Pioneer season in Magic the Gathering. And obviously I'm going to go there to try and win the tournament, but also going to talk to a few Magic players about something that has been on a lot of our minds lately. So welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idle, and I got to ask the question, are crossovers in Magic the Gathering getting too excessive? And I am here with Aaron Davis MTG for all the best Magic the Gathering competitive takes. Make sure to check out his channel on YouTube, Aaron Davis MTG. And Aaron, I gotta ask you a couple questions. For one, what are you going into the tournament with? What is your deck?
I am playing Azorius because that is my blood type. If you haven't seen MTG Remy, it's perfect. It's the best.
And for those that may not know, Azorius, what type of deck is that?
It is blue-white, and I keep you from playing the game. That's how I win. It's like I don't win the game, I keep you from winning the game.
So you're the type of player that everybody hates. Gotcha. And I am here with Noah. Noah, how are you feeling? You have already qualified for regionals, so you're not actually participating in this tournament. Is that correct?
Correct. I'm here with my teammate Walker, and he just asked me to come and support him. We talked about this kind of stuff. We're trying to work out kind of a plan about one of us just comes here and trades and do store stuff. And maybe trade and play in side events while the other one plays, but yeah, it's just something we're working towards.
And if I may ask, what deck did you qualify with?
Boros Convoke. It's funny, it's actually, I qualified for Atlanta with the same deck that I 0-4'd at Dallas with. So, rags and riches.
And I am here with Chris. Chris, I see that top 8 button right here. How you doing? So it looks like you top 8. Was this today or was this a different tournament? Tell me about it.
No, this was a couple months ago in Louisiana in Covington, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Awesome. So what deck are you here playing today, if I may ask?
Mono white humans.
I mean, it's a top tier deck, man. No one can blame you. And we are here with Jacob. This is actually Jacob's home store. This is where you play all the time, correct?
Yes, this is one of my home stores that I play at.
Excellent. And how are you doing in the tournament so far today?
2-2. There's still a small sliver of a chance that I could potentially make top 8.
Better chance than me because I'm 3-1. So anyway, what deck are you playing, if I may ask?
I'm playing Boros Burn.
Boros Burn. I mean, I'm a red deck wins guy myself, so anytime someone says burn, I'm like, ooh, you're speaking my language. Justin, you and I have actually played in a tournament together before today at Commander Games a couple months ago. You were running Mono Blue Mill, but you've changed decks for this tournament, haven't you? Why is that?
Well, 2 reasons. So I took Mono Blue Mill to the first 4 CQs of the season, and honestly, so I have a background in Modern on Mill, like 10 years ago or so, and Mill has always been kind of a niche thing where sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It changes like year to year.
Yeah, you're talking to a Mill player. I'm not sure if you knew or not. So yeah.
So I just essentially wanted to see if it would apply in Pioneer at all. I really don't think that it did. I don't think that it really had the conversion to Pioneer that it had in Modern and other formats in the past. So I decided that since this was getting towards the end of the season and I just got off of a big hiatus because I got tired of playing against one specific matchup, and
Mono Green Devotion or Rakdos mid-range?
Neither.
Neither?
Blue-white control.
Oh, you mean our cameraman's build here.
Indeed, yes. We actually played in round 1, and he did exactly what blue-white does, which is make me not play the game, which is fine, he did well. Anyhow, so today I decided I'd take a more serious deck that I've seen have a better win percentage. One of our locals from my LGS actually got his invitation with this deck and actually played in the most recent regional championship.
Oh, awesome.
With the Neoform Atraxa, which is what I was on today. And I just decided that I thought I would take it for a spin. I've done some practice games at our LGS with it, and I've had really, really good luck with it against a lot of different matchups. I expected to see a lot of mono green, and it eats mono green alive. Unfortunately, I got put up against blue-white control and then blue-white control again, round 1 and 2, and decided to drop after that. But
I've only seen one mono green myself this tournament, but that being said, well, I'm glad you're here, glad you're having fun. I want to go ahead and talk about a topic it's been eating me a little bit. I mean, we've had so many crossovers in Magic as of late. I mean, it started with The Walking Dead, then we got Godzilla, we had Street Fighter, went on to Warhammer 40k, now Lord of the Rings, soon Doctor Who. It is, in my opinion, it's getting excessive, and it's taking away from the IP that is Magic itself. But what are your thoughts on that?
You've got somebody who's pretty much agreeing with you right here. Personally, I think Magic's brand is very strong and is definitely strong enough to go on right now with what it's got. I think they need to keep playing a dev hand. We've kind of had quasi crossovers before with Strixhaven matching a certain wizarding world or whatever created by a certain female British author that was close enough but wasn't too on over the head.
A female author with some amazing tweets, we might add. Just because I love reading her tweets.
Yeah, and who definitely signed a free speech petition and then quickly corrected herself.
Anyway, let's stick to the Magic turf.
Correct.
Why don't
yes.
we?
Yes, indeed. But yeah, on top of all that, I think it's strong enough, and the worst part is even though I do like this Lord of the Rings, and I feel this is close enough, AFR was also a fun limited environment for me, and so the very fantastical ones are great. I just feel like Wizards and perhaps their parent company Hasbro has not shown a whole lot of restraint with some of their successes, and they're going to kind of beat this into the ground, so to speak.
Well, I thought about this before, and we've talked about it, but the one thing I'm probably the most worried about, if I had to pick one thing, is if they do like too many, I'm worried that they're just going to start crossing over to things that are just weird and shouldn't be crossed over.
You don't think we've hit that point already?
Maybe we did, but like there's some clear ones like it's like that no one will like, and if they just keep pushing it, they'll think, oh, well, someone will buy it, and the problem is that's true, and that I'm worried about the integrity of the game in that sense, but overall, I try not to think too much about it because I probably don't like it, so I try to keep it out of my mind.
I mean, I kind of enjoy some of the crossovers. I do believe they are getting a bit too excessive, and they maybe need to tone it back a little bit. But the way they can also expand into other like fan bases and all that is really good because people in that fan base will collect the cards because if they really are dedicated to that fan base, they'll collect it, and then they might go, hey, I'll actually play this game.
So I kind of agree. So I have kind of a convoluted opinion on the matter. I think that crossovers are fine with different IPs as long as they're thematically similar. That's where my issue built on it. I think that as long as you're building on the aesthetic of what the original IP is, I think the crossovers are fine. I think that's why like a game, for example, which I don't play but I see in the media a lot, Fortnite sees a lot of success with their crossovers because they have from the beginning been a very like multi-formatted, very inclusive kind of IP, whereas Magic has had such a long history of a certain aesthetic, a certain kind of feel, and yeah, we've had planes that have changed that, like Kamigawa, now Kamigawa, of course, being a more technological...
Yeah, it's cyberpunk, which is one of my favorite genre outside of Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, so I think that some of them are fine. I think Lord of the Rings is a reasonably okay IP cross. I think that was a cool set. I am a huge Lord of the Rings fan, so it's hard for me to hate on it too much. But I wasn't a fan of The Walking Dead as a crossover. I wasn't a fan of the Transformers as a crossover, which is kind of controversial. A lot of my friends actually like that.
No, I'm right there with you. I actually hold a very similar opinion to you in terms of the thematics. Like not only am I a huge Godzilla fan, but I felt like the Godzilla crossover worked because Magic has always had giant kaiju-esque creatures.
Absolutely.
So Godzilla works better than something like The Walking Dead.
I agree. Yeah. So that's been my big thing. Is that as a total, I don't have an issue with it, and if other people want to play with it, I try as hard as possible to stay away from it as long as it's not CEDH viable, because that's my bigger format is CEDH. But like I said, I mean, people are welcome to do whatever they want. People like that kind of stuff. It obviously sells well. That's why they keep doing it. I am personally more of a fan of the aesthetically fitting IP crossovers, but
I think, okay, so I think it's an odd thing, right? Because I don't know that it ruins the integrity of the game, right? It mixes in too much stuff and kind of like pulls away from the game's like already existing lore and like what would you call it, like not the atmosphere, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, like the universe doesn't feel
appeal.
the IP itself doesn't feel as special.
It's pulling stuff from other things and we're just like injecting so much stuff. But the issue is that affecting like what formats? And the ones that it seems to be affecting the most is Commander, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of casual, so I feel like in that sense, it's not so much of an issue. Because there's not a huge eye, well, there's a huge eye for casual players on Commander, but now Lord of the Rings was...
Yeah, and that was going to be my next question. You led me right into it. Like, Lord of the Rings is the first modern legal, tournament legal crossover brand, and that has been a game changer. Now we're going to move into Doctor Who, which is not going to be modern legal, but Yeah, with Dungeons and Dragons, which I guess that's still a crossover. It was owned by Wizards of the Coast, but still it is a crossover. And so Lord of the Rings was a massive game changer. Also, an incredibly expensive set due to the fact that the license to get Lord of the Rings is a big license. So do you worry about the cost of Magic going up if they continue to do these crossovers?
I mean, it definitely is. And then the issue is like, so I work at a shop in Monroe, and sometimes like the price that we have to pay compared to like Star City Games or like TCG Player, it makes it difficult for smaller shops to like sell these products when there's these other people doing that at lower prices. But like it's the larger gap when it's these like novelty sets and things like that too. So that makes a difference as well, right? But I don't know. Magic is getting more expensive. Everything's getting more expensive though, right? But particularly like they're creating new things that are more expensive, like the collector boosters, which I mean I don't know how long they've been out for, 4 years, 3 years.
And we've still got Commander Masters, which is insanely expensive.
It is. The packs are like 19 per set, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Like, it's just reprints.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so my mom actually owns a store over in Lebanon, Missouri, CCYD Indie Hobbies, self-promo.
Yeah, check out CCYD.
And she used to do Magic the Gathering, but we had a guy come in and buy everything out. And now we're exclusively Dungeons and Dragons, and it is really hard to ever get like a word from Wizards about D&D. I mean, we do get some stuff like words and all that, but everything's like you need to be a Wizard store. Like you need to be Wizards Plus or Wizards, whatever the high like top tier Wizard stores are, which you can only do through Magic. So through D&D, we can't get to that top level because we don't do Magic anymore.
Okay, gotcha. That's a very interesting insight that I've never heard before, so I very much appreciate that. And that does bring me back kind of to Wizards and my next question about them. So obviously the Lord of the Rings set, kind of an expensive set, priced out of range for a lot of individuals, or if not out of range, they at least are paying more than they initially or normally would for Magic due to the fact that it's a very big license, a very expensive license. Do you think that if it continued to repeat that with other big licenses, it will hurt Magic, or even worse, hurt Magic players in the long run?
I do a little bit, because there's also the idea of just buying singles. We can say that as a player because, store owners will say you need to buy sealed product, but if other people buy your sealed product, then you can just buy the singles later on from those other people.
Well, and as you guys know, on this channel, we fully advocate buying singles and not buying sealed product because Wizards hasn't earned it. They don't deserve it. Continue.
Yeah, so I've always been a big avid fan of buying singles, but I will also buy boxes occasionally. I play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh as well. Wow,
that's rare. I very rarely see Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh crossover. Normally, you guys are at each other's throats.
Yeah,
all right.
Some Yu-Gi-Oh sets have a lot of stuff that I need, and in their sets, so I'll buy boxes just to hopefully get everything. But then whenever it boils down to it, I'm like, well, if I only need one card out of this set, I'm just gonna buy the single. I don't have a reason to buy a box for one card.
Yeah, I know the price is a big issue. I'm starting to think of it similar to the last thing I just said, which is there a reason they would want to lower the price? Like, what is a good reason? Because if the price is high and it's still selling, why would they lower the price? So they both cross. It's like you have the high price product because the non-core players are buying it, and so they're like, well, they're making money, and then that hurts the integrity of the game. So what can we do to make us, and the way they would design product for us, profitable for them?
I'll tell you. Stop buying sealed product. Go buy singles from your LGS. Don't buy sealed, people. Sorry, continue.
I'm willing to accept that if it works. I don't know that it'll work, but if it works, sure. I think if we can think of something, the answer to both questions are probably the same. Whatever the tournament players can do to keep the integrity of the game and make it profitable for Wizards, that's the answer. I just don't know what that answer is.
I feel like they're going to keep jacking up prices kind of for different reasons. I mean, Lord of the Rings, if you thought that was jacked up, Commander Master just came out yesterday. You ain't seen nothing yet.
At the tournament we're at, they were talking about, hey, let's do a Commander Master draft.
Which I'd rather short bulk as have to play Commander Master draft.
I agree completely.
Absolutely. So I've actually been talking about this a lot recently. So I am part of the problem for this set. So Commander Masters, I bought 3 collector boxes. So I opened a total of 12 collector packs. $680 or something like that for 3 boxes of product. With 12 total packs, I pulled a total of about $300 worth of product.
Wow.
And that includes the fact that I did pull the full art Jeweled Lotus. And even with that, every other card from my other 11 packs combined barely topped $100. So
that's
insane. Yeah, so that is something.
Because I actually haven't spoken to anyone, at least that I know of, who's purchased a Commander Masters box yet. You're the first person I know who's even done it, and well, that's not exactly a glowing endorsement.
No, it's not.
I mean, I think this set's a greedy cash grab anyway, because Commander is the casual format, and yet it's priced out of range for individuals that play casually. We're here at a tournament. We are expected to spend a bit more money on Magic the Gathering, but for people that are playing it around their kitchen table, this is incredibly excessive, in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah, and that's kind of where I was going with that, is that I think that the expense of the set, and especially with the return that I have seen from my personal experience, as well as a couple of my friends that opened a box or two, and saw very similar results, some of them not even seeing $100 out of their boxes or 2 boxes. I mean, that is an absolutely outrageous price point. Our LGS has already dropped the cost per box of almost $40 because they're dropping their profitabilities for the boxes because they understand that it's unreasonable for them to be selling those boxes at those prices, even though that's what Wizards is forcing them to do, essentially. So
right, I mean, we saw this with March of the Machine, which did the 6-card booster packs for like $250 or $500, whatever it was. Obviously, we saw it in Magic 30th. Wizards of the Coast either doesn't care that we're in a recession or doesn't understand the vast majority of Magic players ain't exactly like Warren Buffett's. Do you worry that it's going to be bringing in individuals that hey, they're fans of Doctor Who or they're fans of Lord of the Rings, but they're not fans of Magic, so they will buy these products which will make Wizards think, hey, we're selling really well, but they will not be return customers, so we will eventually see a drop in Magic sales?
That's kind of a thing, but then that, how would I describe that? Like the increase in sales disappearing after somebody buys something because of that certain IP kind of doesn't matter if in all reality, but if they keep some people it's kind of good. But my issue is how do we get people to move from Commander to real
play like this,
and to play in competitions and stuff and read the scene again now, because after COVID things died out and
so you agree that WotC should really focus on bringing the tournament scene back and not really cater so much to the casual crowd?
Hey, bring GPs back.
Oh, he said it. You heard it. We've been saying it. No, I couldn't agree more.
The biggest reason Wizards does these crossovers, they're trying to draw in fans from other IPs into playing Magic, and the onboarding process with Magic is still not good enough. I don't know where I found this stat, but it is a true stat. The average lifespan of a Magic player is 6 months. Anybody who's ever
I had
bought
not heard that. Wow.
Might have to look. It's on the internet somewhere, but yeah, anybody.
If it's on the internet, it is true.
It's verified somewhere. I just don't know where off the top of my head. But yeah, anybody who's ever purchased a Magic the Gathering product, they don't purchase another one after 6 months.
Well, and I can absolutely believe that, especially when you're doing these crossovers. You're going to get people like Doctor Who fans, like Lord of the Rings fans, that are just getting it for the collectability because they're fans of those IPs, not fans of the game itself.
Expressly. You're going to have a lot of Lord of the Rings specialists who bought these Lord of the Rings collectibles, the special alt arts, their copy of the One Ring, whatever that would have been, and, they completed those sets and then they're out. So it's kind of, in my opinion, a little bit cannibalistic for Wizards. They're trying to find new customers for people who love other things. They're not trying to find more people and give newer players real reasons to love the game of Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very fair point. I mean, because there is always the concern that people are going to be pushed away from Magic as a game and as a, whole thematic kind of a theme, as a collectors even, by all these strange IP crosses and such. So, yeah, you might be bringing in new fans for these different IPs, fans of those IPs that aren't even related in any way to Magic. They may buy into the set, a set or two, just some secret layer drops or something, and then just keep those, like you said, as a binder collection. And they may never actually involve themselves in Magic at all, so you may be pushing your more veteran players, farther away by doing those kind of things. But I mean, I think that it's just it's something we'll just have to find out. I mean, I think Magic makes a lot of questionable decisions, or the Wizards. I think they make questionable decisions.
This whole channel is about calling out their questionable decisions, so by all means, say it with your chest.
Yeah, so that's my thing, is I think that they make a lot of questionable decisions. I don't think this is the one that's going to bury them as a company, but I do think that it definitely rubs some of their more diehard fans the wrong way a lot of the times, and I think that if they get to the point where they realize they have to stop rubbing their long-term fans the wrong way, then we may see less of those kind of IP crosses, but
No, I mean, you said someone will buy it. And that actually leads me to a couple different thought processes. For one, it leads me to think, yeah, I mean, Doctor Who, sure, a lot of people love it. Not your boy here, because I like good nerdy content, but I get why people love it. People love Lord of the Rings, people love Godzilla, but do people love Magic the Gathering? Are they going to go and be a Doctor Who fan, a Lord of the Rings fan, buy these Doctor Who or Lord of the Rings products, but then not come back for more Magic? And if not, what do you think that will do to the longevity of the game?
Well, I don't know if I have anything super intelligent to say, but I do know this. Stop it.
Well, actually, you led into one of the questions I usually ask later, but that worked perfectly. What do you think is the number of individuals, like, let's say, Doctor Who fans or Lord of the Rings fans, that want the cards just as collectors, but actually do end up becoming fans of the game? Have you personally experienced that as of yet?
I personally haven't, because I've been playing since Dragon's Maze first released. I started like a week before the set dropped, so I've been playing for a while, even before Secret Lairs were ever thought of. So I can't say I relate to buying a Secret Lair and then going, I want to play this.
Right, and I mean, as somebody, I find Secret Lairs also to be a bit excessive, but I'm guilty of buying them as well. Like, I'm a massive Capcom and Street Fighter fan, so when the Street Fighter Secret Lair dropped, I was like, well, I gotta do it. You know, it's Capcom, and I'm a Resident Evil fan. Obviously, Lord of the Rings being the first tournament legal set that comes with a crossover, do you think that that is a game changer for IPs going forward, third-party IPs going forward? Are we going to see more tournament legal IPs, or was Lord of the Rings the exception, not the rule?
So I certainly hope that it's an exception, not the rule, first of all. I think that it's very likely that because of the size of the IP, that's why that they were able to work out something where they would have such a huge feel and such a huge pressure onto the actual play state of competitive Magic. I would certainly hope that that's not going to be something that we're seeing very often. First of all, I think that anytime you add cards that are specifically to an older format, I think that that's a questionable decision, especially because they have a bad history of very poor choices for the card quality that they're putting out.
Oh, don't get me started on card quality.
Yeah. They're constantly putting out cards that are absolutely busted in the formats they say they're making those cards for. And then we'll see a ban, or we'll have to see a ban on a whole different archetype because they don't want to ban their card that they just released. You know, of course, they don't want to ban a card like the One Ring, which is the bans come out next week. They don't want to ban a card like that because it's still selling product for them. So we may not see a ban on that card, even though that card very well could be a ban-worthy card. And I definitely think within the next year we will see a ban on that card. So that's kind of an example of them printing a card that they wanted to be good, they wanted to be viable because of the IP, and they overdid it. They printed it for a competitive-based set. If that was a Commander set or a Commander card, it'd be fine. But they didn't. They printed it for a known competitive format and made a broken card that they now aren't going to want to ban because they're still making money off of it. And it's just
so much so that Hasbro CEO Chris Cox said that Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle Earth will be considered an evergreen product.
I think that's definitely possible. I mean, it's hard for us to look at that and not worry about the future of IP crossovers as far as their influence on competitive Magic. Because, like I said earlier, I'm okay with people wanting to play IP cards. I think that's cool in creative, fun ways, but I really always hope that it's not going to cross over in the competitive scene. So I hope that this isn't a light for us to see what's coming down the path, but it very well could be.
Well, I mean, the One Ring and Orcish Bowmasters has kind of changed the meta for for the modern format, definitely. Because especially my friend has immediately bought One Rings and he's playing it in Eldrazi Tron. Because Eldrazi Tron says we can't have fun with anything. And that's the reason why it's going to get banned on Monday. Calling it now.
Oh, so this video dropped either Sunday or Monday, so we'll see if he's correct.
Yep. Calling it now, it will get banned. Orcish Bowmasters is a $40 card right now. It should not be $40. It is way too good, way too expensive. It's essentially a creature Ren, and you can reanimate it a lot easier, which is outrageous.
I think they will because it's successful. So when we were talking about the integrity of the game, the best example right now, and I know a lot of people talking about this, is the One Ring and how people want it banned, but they're just not banning it. Nothing to do with format, but just because it's currently in print. That's the lack of integrity that I'm worried about. And so the game itself suffers because of things that aren't about the game, they're about other things like crossovers.
My final question, as we've established, we're both pretty, have some various opinions when it comes to crossovers, but at the end of the day, everybody does have that one crossover they would kill their grandmother to see in Magic the Gathering. What is your dream crossover for Magic the Gathering?
Dream crossover for Magic the Gathering. So this is going to sound crazy because of the fact that I just stated that I think that they should be aesthetically similar. My biggest franchise that I'm a huge fan and supporter of would probably be Star Wars. And I will say, if I wasn't
Real Star
huge,
Wars, not Disney Star Wars, just
no,
not
absolutely not. If anything, Clone Wars specific Star Wars, the best.
Give this man some love,
the best
Internet.
media ever put out by Star Wars. Anyways, if they were to do that and I wasn't a Star Wars fan, I can promise you that'd be the set I would talk the most crap about that they've ever done an IP cross for. I'm a huge Star Wars fan though, and selfishly, that's what I would love to see. I want to smack somebody with, Rograk holding Obi-Wan's lightsaber. Come on, like, what about it?
No, I'm surprised. You're the fourth person I've interviewed today, and no one has said Star Wars, and that's such an obvious answer, not in a bad way. Yeah, I'm surprised no one has said Star Wars as of yet, and I can't make fun of you. My dream crossover is Dragon Ball Z. That's never coming to Magic, so you know.
Fair enough, that's a cool crossover, but...
But no, thank you very much. Anything you want to tell the people before you go?
Not much. Stop playing Blue-White Control. We know it's amazing, but you have to be really smart to play it successfully, and I want to resolve my Atraxa.
Well, thank you very much. You have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of the tournament.
All right, for sure.
If I could do anything, I think a good crossover, and this might be too broad of a term, but crossover slashers.
Oh, that's cool.
If I've only had to pick one franchise, just the Evil Dead. But if we could see the Evil
man
Dead,
after my own heart.
If we could see the Evil Dead,
Campbell as a commander and a commander deck is what I would die for.
Absolutely correct. I'm also a big Mortal Kombat fan. We all cried a big tear when we found out he wasn't coming in MK11. So to see him in Magic the Gathering would be amazing. But if we also got to see him alongside Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger, it'd be amazing.
I couldn't agree more. Well, last but not least, you did tell me that you have a channel, so by all means, shout out your channel so that people can go and subscribe.
Hi everyone. Yeah, my YouTube channel name is Asphodel Merchant.
Spell that for some people that might not know what
ASPHODEL. Yeah, I almost forgot there myself. Merchants, MERCHANTS, and I do a lot of YouTube. I do a lot of box openings. I really like collector's boxes, especially those Midnight Hunt ones at $110. And I've been trying to do a bit more limited play, and I even just did my first tier list for Lord of the Rings. I just take all the colors and put them on a tier list on screen, try and help out my burgeoning limited friend.
Well, my dream one that I know will never happen is I would love Jack and Daxter series to come to Magic the Gathering.
Can I hug you?
Yes.
You're the... Oh. He's the only one I know besides me who constantly brings up Jack and Daxter. Doesn't it need a remake like Spiral Reignited Trilogy and then a sequel?
We did have the PS3 remake, but we haven't had a PS4 or PS5 remake.
Does Naughty Dog even have it in them anymore? This is getting off topic, but Jack and Daxter is top tier. You're right, that needs to come.
But the
to
one I
Magic.
think that might actually eventually happen would be Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, that we're gonna see that before Jack and Daxter, which, I mean, Crash is great and all, but we need to see this dead franchise return from the dead. What a great answer. Well, Jacob, thank you very much. Do you have anything you would like to add or say to the camera?
I'm also on YouTube. I do speedruns of Jack X Combat Racing. Follow me, Kongman21. Also on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff, Instagram.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you very much, man. You have a good rest of your day, and best of luck in the rest of the
too.
tournament.
Adventure Time, but make it gritty. Like,
Oh, that's a real unique answer. I've not heard one person say that.
yeah, make it gritty. I don't know what else
No, I
to think of. I'd have to
love it.
ponder on it for a bit.
Ponder. There, that was yeah, you opted for a joke there. That one didn't work as well. But hey, thank you very much, Chris. You have a good rest of your day, and good luck in the rest of the tournament.
Thanks, you too.
Excellent. Well, I got one final question for you, and it's the same question I plan on asking everybody. I've made my thought process on crossovers abundantly clear. I'm tired of them. But that said, there's always that one crossover that just you will die for, you will kill someone for, probably, and it's that crossover. What would you want to be your ultimate dream crossover in Magic the Gathering? And knowing you, since we've been fast friends for many years now, I'm going to take a wild guess and say it's World of Warcraft.
I don't think so. I don't think they would ever get the licensing for that. And
No, but this is your dream crossover.
nah, I would say it's my dream. I mean, it'd be interesting because it was already a card game, but Hearthstone and stuff. But
Oh, that's
if I had
true.
to pick, I would. This is silly. I would just pick mundane real life.
You're gonna have to explain that one.
Yeah,
So
like-
like office worker taps create a filing token.
No, like real places on Earth. like
Oh!
Moose Jaw, Canada, or like that's a land.
Toad Suck, Arkansas.
And you've got like the Illinois state legislature. I don't know, like something boring, like what's a Taylor Swift, like the real things.
That's a great way to get normies away from Magic.
Yes,
I think you can save Wizards with that abysmal crossover. But anyway, thank you very much. Best of luck in the tournament. I hope you top 8, unless of course it comes down to me and you. And then, frankly, I hope I destroy you as friends.
Okay.
You have a good rest of your day, everybody. This has been Words of Paradise.